The Big Kahuna was released in 1999. This is directed by John Swanbeck. It's written by Roger Rueff, based on Hospitality Suite by Roger Rueff. And we have a cast including Danny DeVito, Kevin Spacey, and Peter Facinelli. And I apologise if I've mispronounced any of those names. I do not understand this. I don't understand the appeal. I don't get it. I didn't think there was anything interesting about this at all. So I was really, really surprised to see it had 0.5 out of 10 on IMDb, and that's across 15,000 reviews and ratings. And I'm pointing that out because I don't recommend this at all. I found it to be tremendously dull, but people like it. So I don't personally recommend it, but if you're curious, maybe check it out. This is about two marketing representatives who are working for this industrial lubricants company, and they're in Wichita, and they're trying to speak with the Big Kahuna, the Big Cheese, if you like, and the characters are fun. I don't mind the characters. And then they meet another character called Bob, and they spend time talking with Bob, and they all try and meet this Big Kahuna, a character called Dick Fuller. And honestly, not much happens. It is tremendously boring. The characters are well written in the sense that they're believable, but the dialogue is never that interesting. It might feel realistic. I'm not saying that I don't believe the dialogue or the characters or the narrative, but being realistic or feeling realistic doesn't automatically translate to being interesting and entertaining. And I just found it to be so tremendously boring. It's very rare that I want a film to hurry up and finish. Usually there's something I can enjoy, whether it's a character or parts of the narrative. But with this one, I felt nothing but boredom. I genuinely do not understand the appeal. Yes, the performances are solid, but there is nothing else here that worked for me. I just could not get into this at all. I think the narrative needs quite a bit of work to be interesting. I don't think the dialogue was that fascinating. To be honest, I don't think the concept is that interesting. Maybe I'm missing something, and if I am, that's absolutely fine. I'm not going to read every film the way the writers intended on every single occasion. But for me personally, I am just not getting anything out of this at all. Very, very boring. Nothing happens. The characters are fine. But as I said, it seems to be well received by some people. So that means it might appeal to you depending on what you're looking for. But personally, I don't think it's a good film. I don't think it's an interesting concept. Usually when there are bad films, I can at least say, well, it could have worked if they'd taken a different direction or if they'd done this differently. But I just can't see this working ever. It is adapted from the stage play. Honestly, if I had gone to see this as a stage play, I would have been so bored. So I'm glad that didn't happen. If you've seen it on stage, do let me know what you think. Granted, if I was seeing Danny DeVito perform on stage, that in itself would be an absolute joy. But unfortunately with the film, Danny DeVito was not enough to make this interesting because everything else, in my opinion, was so boring that DeVito, for me, only elevated it, I guess, to being watchable. Had he not been in it, I mean, I would have finished it for the purpose of the review, but it would have been a really tedious experience. But I guess as a Danny DeVito fan, I at least liked watching him. Unfortunately, nothing else in this film works for me, appeals to me. It didn't deliver. Yes, the performances are fine, the characters are believable, the dialogue's believable, but believable isn't always going to be interesting. The Big Kahuna is not an enjoyable film for me. If you're curious, check it out, but personally, I don't recommend it.